Hey everyone, welcome back to the Media Unrestricted podcast. I'm Chase. I know it looks a little bit different without Dylan being right here, but he's got a few things going on, so it's just gonna be me today. I'm just gonna do a solo thing. I know it's gonna be different. I hope the quality's still fine, and next Sunday we'll make sure we bring you a great show. But I'm gonna get right into the show. I know, please like and subscribe. I know we added a new subscriber, so thank you to them. We definitely appreciate you. Getting into the first topic, I'm going to give my full spoiler review of A Quiet Place 2. If you saw our out of the theater thoughts, me and Dylan both enjoyed the film. We'll give it a 9 out of 10. We'll make sure on Sunday we'll get his full spoiler thoughts. But for mine, as you saw in the other video, we both thought it was better than the first, and it definitely is. It is a movie that surpasses the first, and I'm still surprised that it did because I was a person going in. I thought, how can John Krasinski like top what he just made with the first one, and he did. The characters are great, the aliens are great, the story's great, everything about it is just great. I said I'm so surprised that he was able to do it, but John Krasinski, Jim Halpert, he knows what to do. But um, it starts, it kicks off right where the first one ended. So if you wanted to do a double feature of both movies, you totally could, and that was Krasinski's, I think, idea. He just wanted you to watch these movies right back to back, just so you can get that full experience. And I'm glad he did it. It was a great way just to kick off the film, just so we know where everything left off. We can just get right back into it. But the opening scene, right before that goes, is day one, like a prequel. And I know you've seen it in the trailers, but that scene, like I said, is something special in the out of the theater thoughts. That is something special. It's great. It was a great way to see how the aliens came by like an asteroid, and just seeing all the wreckage they could cause. Like one of the scenes that I liked, it was really intense. They were in like this bar, like kind of like restaurant place, and these couple, they're talking, but like they stop so on the phone. And then the pharmacy owner, which for the pharmacy from the first one, he was there, and he was kind of talking. So John Krasinski kind of leans over and covers his mouth. But then the one girl, I think their phone goes off, and the monster was right outside, so it comes crashing in, taking out a lot of people. That scene was crazy. I like that scene a lot. But that opening day one scene was something that I think we needed to know. We needed to know how these aliens came, and I'm glad John Krasinski added it. It was a great job. Um, Going off on the characters, Emily Blunt's character was great. I feel like they didn't use her as much, but it wasn't really a big problem. She was great. The older son, I'm sorry, I'm forgetting the kids' names. Um, he was good. The deaf girl, like, think she was great. She was one of my top favorite characters in the film. She was great. She is gonna definitely in the third one whenever it does come out, because I know they've got plans for it. But she's gonna be a big key, and she is in this one. Uh, but Killian Murphy is great. I haven't seen him since the Dark Knight trilogy, but it was great to see him again. His character was great. You didn't know kind of how big he was going to be. He was a big role in this one. You thought at a point he might turn to a bad guy because he steals her, like, the speaker thing, but he was just going it to go find a boat, like go find a boat for so they can go to the island, which is the kind of the plot of the story, so they can get that sound over, like so they can kind of end this, so they can fight the battle. But he was just going to try to find a boat, so they made you think he was, but he didn't. So I'm glad Krasinski kind of tried to pull that, but pull right back. The aliens in this are in it a lot more, and they're great in everything they are. Their scenes are intense. They keep you on the edge of your seat. But the design of the aliens is something I like because they remind me of xenomorphs, kind of. Not really, by just kind of how they move, like an Alien Covenant thing, and Demogorgons, I think that's how you pronounce it, and clickers. Um, but they every scene they're in it a lot more, and they're great to be there. Um, in this movie, kind of going off The Last of Us, it felt just like this was in the Last of Us universe. It felt like it belongs right in there with it, and I'm glad they kind of did that because The Last of Us is a great game series, and it kind of can continue like kind of be just like this. So if they would actually make a uh, movie of The Last of Us, I know they're doing a TV show, but they did a movie. John Krasinski needs to direct it because he could do an amazing job. Um, I'll talk about a couple scenes. The boat dock scene. So if you've seen it, that scene, you know what I'm talking about, is really intense. It's really good. But that's where my one negative comes from is the people at the boat dock. I feel like they could have, I guess, explained what's their reason, what are they doing there, what's their purpose. I feel like they missed out on that. But other than that, that little nitpick, I guess, that boat dock scene is intense. Keeps you on the edge of your seat because you just don't know you feel like something's gonna happen, and you have to keep waiting and just see what happens. And what happens is those scavenger people kind of go out there, and because they set up like a trap with this little girl, and it I guess, like, I don't know what they were gonna do. I'm curious to know if we can get an explanation of what their plans were. But then Killian Murphy's character kind of like brings the chains that they had wrapped around him, and it brings the monsters there, and the monster just comes and wrecks all these people and just takes them all out, which is cool to see. And then they do get a boat, but you also find out that the monsters can't swim, and that's a big key point because then one of them's on the boat, and that boat goes to where they're going, which is an island where this radio like station is playing beyond the sea. So someone knows that there's somewhere safe they can go, and that's it. And they go, and like I said, the boat kind of like pushes it out to current, and they go out to and it starts attacking the people on that island. So the island that once was no monsters are there now, and then it goes into where they get to the radio station, which they're brought to the guy from Guardians of the Galaxy who says "who" whenever he says to Chris Pratt's character. But he's like he left his family back at their house, so he wants to go back. But like the monster brings him under the garage door thing, and he takes out him. Then they go into the radio station, which the monster follows. That scene is just as intense as the boat dock scene, just more. Because there are key elements that things could have went different than it did. Because like when she's trying to climb in over the window to get to where the radio booth is, there's like so many things she could accidentally knock over that would have caused a big problem. And I think Krasinski did that on purpose, and I'm glad he did because that was a cool ad, and it keeps you on the edge of your seat, that whole scene. And once they do get to the radio thing, I think they hit something, and then the monster comes breaking through the window. She finally gets to the room and uses her hair thing to over the speaker, which, like I said, causes the problem. And both, because at the other where the other people are, her mom and the other kid, they are also dealing with one of the monsters, and they both take out the monsters there because she finally gets it. And that, like I said, that scene was really cool. And then, like I said, it ends right there. So then it's like, what happened next? So I think the third one, whenever it comes out, is going to be kickoff right there. It's a perfect point to start. And where do I think they'll go with the third movie? I think they're going to have to it be the final one, and we see them fight back against the monsters because I think they set that up. So I know the third one it's not official. It is John Krasinski has got the plan, but I know there's also plans for a spinoff that Krasinski's gonna produce. So I look forward to both of them and seeing what they're going to be going on in those movies. But overall, like I said in the out of the theater thing, I gave it a 9 out of 10. Absolute blast of a movie. Please, please, please check it out in theaters. It's only there for 45 days, like we talked about a couple weeks ago. So please support the theaters. They need you. Not as not as much as they were, but just please support the theaters. Wait on streaming because I know it'll be there, but please see in theaters. It's where you need to experience it. Now, moving on to our next topic, Shazam 2 is now filming. Now, the plot is unknown at this time, so who knows? Could be with Black Adam or who knows what's going on. But I can't wait to see what Shazam 2 is going to be because the first Shazam is an absolute blast. I love that movie a lot. The first time I saw it, Zachary Levi, everybody was so great, and it's kind of like the same thing with Quiet Place 2. I don't know how they could top that first one, but I think they definitely can. Everyone is coming back from the first one, so we get to see his like the family again, and maybe the caterpillar will be the villain because I know they kind of set that up there in the end credit scene. So the release date is scheduled for June 2nd of 2023. So still a while away, but when we have more news on Shazam 2 or set photos or any of that stuff, we will break it to you and I'll tell you all about it. Now, moving on to our next topic, which is more DC news. That's Joker 2 is moving forward with Tom Phillips to write the film. Now, no one knows if like he's going to direct the film or who else is writing it with him or if Warner Brothers wants to go with somebody else to direct the film. But he is writing the film, so I definitely think he'll be back a director. And also, Joaquin Phoenix, nobody knows if he's coming back or what they're doing with that. But Joaquin Phoenix has to come back. Joker from 2019 was such an amazing movie. When it came out, I actually gave it a 10 out of 10. It was a masterpiece. It's such a like it's everything is advertised from what you get in the trailers and everything. Now this is like what I keep saying about Quiet Place 2. When I went in, I didn't know how they could top it, but I think if Phillips is coming back, it's definitely a possibility. If Quiet Place 2 can do it, I don't see why not Joker 2 can be just as good. There's no release date yet, so not as much news on Joker 2. I just wanted to make sure I got that out there and tell you all about it because I know a lot of people love the Joker movie. So stay tuned for more news as that releases. Now, on to the next topic, which I will cover the box office numbers from Memorial Day weekend. Number one was Quiet Place 2, and it actually topped Godzilla vs. Kong for an opening day weekend. And I'm glad to see that. I'm glad to see people are back at the movies because, Godzilla vs. Kong is a great movie. I liked it a lot. But Quiet Place 2 is my favorite movie of this year so far, and I'm glad it's made the money it did. Krilla was right behind it, and I know Dylan will say I've kind of given it, let's say, a little crap. I didn't like the trailer too much, but I heard the reviews are decent, so I guess I will have to sit down and I will check it out because that's the duty of a movie lover. I will definitely check it out, and I will tell you my thoughts on Krilla whenever I get a chance to see it. Number 3 was Spiral. Number 4 was Wrath of Man, and number 5 was Raya and the Last Dragon. As I said earlier and just not really long ago, I'm glad people are back at the movies because when we had the pandemic and movies was a key thing that was missing, and it was sad to see it. But I'm glad everyone's back and we can go see movies on the big screen because that's the greatest place, I gotta say. Moving on to the next topic, Jurassic World Dominion teaser. Teased? Colin Trevorrow I feel like he kind of teased it. That's what everyone thinks. He did a little bit of a tease by saying this quote. It's going to be sooner than you think. I can't talk about it just yet. We've got something fun planned, and it has everything to do with getting people back into the movie theaters. So nobody knows when that's going to come out, but I think it's soon. I don't know maybe when Furious 9 comes out to America, because I know it's overseas right now. When it comes into America, I think next month, I think it's going to be with that. I could be wrong, but I believe it's going to be. I think it'll be tagged with that movie. So, and as much as I've been kind of hating on Fast 9, I think I might have to just go for that trailer because I feel like it's going to be tagged to that. I know it wrapped production in November of 2020, which we talked about, and it was supposed to come out this year, but with the pandemic, it messed everything up. But it is scheduled to come out June 10th of 2022. I'll tell you right now that is already probably my most excited for movie of next year. Um, I can't wait to see the dinosaurs on the mainland. We kind of got a tease with that in Battle of Big Rock, which is kind of like a short film that Universal put out during, I want to say, the Super Bowl last year, maybe a couple years ago. If you have not seen that, please check it out. It is worth the watch. It is super good for only being a short film, and it just teases of what the future of Dominion is going to be just like. And if it's going to be like that, Dominion could top the original. I doubt it, but it's very possible. But when that trailer comes out, me and Dylan will both be there to review it for you. And when more news and everything comes out, we will be there to talk to you about it. Moving on to the next topic is the Sony shared Marvel Universe. And it will kick off with Spider-Man No Way Home. So what Sony is planning on doing is connecting the Spider-Man and all that stuff to the MCU, and I think that's got to be a must. Penich, I think he's with Sony and everything. Sorry if I butchered that name wrong. He revealed that we do have a plan which he believes fans are catching on to, which everyone's got to think that's probably what me and Dylan have talked about for a little bit while now, about the original Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield Spider-Man's coming back for the multiverse and everything they're setting up. So I think that's kind of it. And it kind of goes into the other news with Kraven the Hunter, casted by Aaron Taylor Johnson, which could be a good act. I'd like to see it. He was Quicksilver, so he's already played an MCU character, so it's just a weird coincidence. But I'm not much on Kraven, so I think I'd have to look into him. But I think Aaron Taylor Johnson can definitely pull it down. But in that movie, Kraven the Hunter, that will hold answers to kind of about the shared universe. So Venom 2 and Morbius and all that stuff is going to connect into the MCU. And I can't wait to see if they like Venom with more or less Tom Holland Spider-Man to start off with. I can't wait to see them connect together. But then I can't wait to see Venom in the MCU down the line, because it'd be great to see him and everything acting with everybody. But a news that just came out a couple hours ago, I feel like I saw, supposedly the Spider-Man No Way Home trailer, is playing in some theaters. I said I'm not sure if that's 100% true. So, it means maybe any day we could officially get the trailer. I know there was news that it might come out last week, which it didn't, sadly. But so soon, hopefully, we will have a Spider-Man No Way Home trailer. I don't expect to see a lot, but I expect it to be a solid trailer. Me and Dylan will both discuss it once it comes out, and we can't wait to talk to you about it. Because Spider-Man No Way Home does release in theaters this year on December 17th. Now, that is all the movie topics, so we will move on to TV shows, which I only have one topic for today, and that's reviewing both Superman and Lois episodes 6 and 7. I know we missed last week because Dylan hadn't got to watch it, but hopefully he'll be able to have seen it by next time he's with us, and we'll see what he thought about those episodes. But the first episode 6, Broken Trust, it was good to see Superman and Lois back. We hadn't seen it since March 23rd, since it took its little break. But it was a great episode back, and it was cool. Because they had Jordan's having his high pitched hearing, but he doesn't tell Clark. at the beginning so he can play in the game against Metropolis because he thinks Sarah's going to be there. What Sarah doesn't end up being there because she's got to babysit. But during that game, which they win, small wins, but Metropolis, like one of the players, tackles him, and Jordan kind of starts getting mad, and is like his vision's starting to come, and Clark sees it, so he runs over there and like kind of like stops it, like kind of, I guess, trying so no one can see him doing it, which was a really cool scene. I liked that scene a lot. But Tag, which was he was in where we left off, he was back in this episode, and he kidnaps Sarah. But I mean, I don't. He wasn't like full bad intentions. But Superman knows he goes and saves Sarah, and he also protects Tag because the Department of Defense they shot at Tag real bullets and kryptonite bullets, and that kind of also didn't make Superman happy. He goes and talks to um, Lois's dad about why did he do that, and whenever he does that, he leaves the hotel where Jordan and Jonathan were, and Jordan their football team comes and they're gonna go get something to drink, and they get stopped by the Metropolis team, and they're kind of there to start some shit, and they Jordan kind of clocks back to start his super punch thing, and Jonathan steps in the way and breaks his wrist because he kind of steps in the way, and that was kind of cool to see like Jonathan kind of like stepping in, and he's in the cast, so he's got the repercussions from it. But then right like not much after that, Jordan goes into shock, and Clark has to take him to the fortress to see what's going on, and that's where episode 6 ends. It begins you on a cliffhanger, and it was great. But episode 7 was titled Man of Steel, and I absolutely love this episode. It sets up a lot of good things for the future and gives us some answers. And this one, like, still Jordan's still having this problem with his hearing and everything, but Clark tells him that just focus on one thing, and it will like, and he tries it with like the water faucet, but it doesn't work. So he has to throw his headphones on because it's really bugging him. But later in the episode, he pulls out his phone to try it, and he puts a picture of Sarah, and he focuses on it, and he actually gets it to work, and he hears her, and she's talking to Jonathan, and she kind of like, when he overhears it, it's kind of actually sounds like he's kind of gets like hitting on her and stuff, but it really wasn't his intentions. But it kind of then Jordan gets mad, but